Ratna Simha Nitya Gaura Hari Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtadarshan Shishimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasani Gaura Bhaktivedanta ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Girivardhan ki Vrindavan Dham ki, Mayapur Dham ki, Jagannakshatra Dham ki, Ganga Mai ki, Yamuna Mai ki, Tulsi Maharani ki, Harinam Sankirtanya ki, Lord's Assembled devotees, all Lord's Assembled devotees, all Lord's Assembled devotees, all Lord's Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all Lord's Shri
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जयो गोपी जना वल्लभा जयो गिरिवरधारी जयो यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरावनचारी जायो राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जयो गोपी जनवाल्लभा जयो गिरिवरधारी। जयो यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जायो राधा माधवा जयो कुंज बिहारी। जयो जायो गोपी जनवाल्लभा जयो गिरिवरधारी। जयो यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरे। Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda Shri Radhe Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Samaved Bhaktivinoda Ki Gaur Premanande All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So tonight we are reading from chapter 3, Karma Yoga, text 9. We'll do Sanskrit. Yajnathat karmano natra loko yam karma bandhana tadartham karma konteya mukta sangha samachara Yajnathat karmano nyatra loko yam karma bandhana tadartham karma konteya mukta sangha samachara. Yajnathat karmano nyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma konteya Mukta Yanga Samachara Yagnatat Karma Nonyatra Lokoyam Karma Bandhana Tadartham Karma Kaunteya Lok Samachara. Word to word meaning. Yagna Arthat. Done only for the sake of Yagya. O Vishnu. Karmana. Than work. Anyatra. Otherwise. Loka. World. Avyam. This. Karma bandhana. Bondage by work. Tat. Of him. Artham. For the sake. Karma. Work. Kaunteya. O son of Kunti. Mukta Sangha. Liberated from association. Samachara. Do perfectly. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage. Purport. Since one has to work even for the simple maintenance of the body, the prescribed duties for a particular social position and quality are so made that that purpose can be fulfilled. Yajna means Lord Vishnu, or sacrificial performances. All sacrificial performances also are meant for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. The Vedas enjoin Yajna vai Vishnu. In other words, the same purpose is served whether one performs prescribed yajnas or directly serves Lord Vishnu. Krishna consciousness is therefore performance of yajna, as it is prescribed in this verse. The Varnashrama institution also aims at satisfying Lord Vishnu. Varnashrama Varta Purushena Parapuman Vishnur Aratyate. Vishnu Puran 388. Therefore, one has to work for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Any other work done in this material world will be a cause of bondage, for both good and evil work have their reactions, and any reaction binds the performer. Therefore, one has to work in Krishna consciousness to satisfy Krishna or Vishnu. And while performing such activities, one is in a liberated stage. This is a great art of doing work. And in the beginning, this process requires very expert guidance. One should therefore act very diligently under the expert guidance of a devotee of Lord Krishna, or under the direct instruction of Lord Krishna himself, under whom Arjuna had the opportunity to work. Nothing should be performed for sense gratification, but everything should be done for the satisfaction of Krishna. This practice will not only save one from the reaction of work, but also gradually elevate one to transcendental loving service of the Lord, which alone can raise one to the kingdom of God. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuruniritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Firstly, I'd like to thank you to Bhaktivedanta Manor for giving me an opportunity to speak. And I'd like to ask the blessings of all the Vaishnavas who are present here, who are present upstairs, who are present online, that may I be able to speak something of value on this Vyasasana today. Thank you so much. So I'll read the translation again. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage. So, this verse is a concluding verse for the Nishkam Karma Yoga section of chapter 3. And Lord Krishna is speaking this verse because Arjuna was bewildered in chapter 2. At the end of chapter 2 and the beginning of chapter 3, he was confused that if Krishna is telling me to have knowledge, then why is he telling me to kill my own family members? Like, what's the difference? If he's telling me that knowledge is higher, then why should I do this action? So he was confused between knowledge and fruitative action. So Krishna is just answering his query in all these verses leading up to this verse. And in this particular verse, he removes this doubt of Arjuna about bondage, because Arjuna specifically asked about bondage, that I don't want to be bound in this material world. So this verse, Krishna is specifically clearing Arjuna's doubts, that if you perform work for Vishnu, you will have no bondage in the material world. So Krishna says, Yagna That Karmano, done only for the sake of yagya. Nyatra lokoyam karmana bandhana. Otherwise, anything else, any work you do will cause bondage in this world. And this verse also has the first reference to the word yagya in the Bhagavad Gita. This is the first time Krishna is mentioning about sacrifice and the word yagya. So I was just churning with Rasaraj Krishna Prabhu earlier this afternoon that what does the word yagya actually mean? What does the word sacrifice actually mean? And there was so many meanings when we were researching, but I kind of saw this video of Chaitanya Charan Prabhu where he was explaining that there can be two ways of explaining yagya. It's either in the form of principle or in the form. Like yagya done as a form, which is in the form of a sacrifice, is a fire sacrifice. So that's one particular way of doing yagya. But the other way of doing yagya is a principle. That you follow the principle of doing yagya, like Sankirtana yagya. It's not an actual form of sacrifice, but it's a principle you apply in your lives. Like for this age, Kali age, the recommended yagya is Sankirtan yagya, is chanting of the holy names. And different ages have different yagyas recommended. So yagya can be either principle or form. Just like yoga is, right? Yoga, some people conceive it to be some physical activity, you do like stretch. But yoga is also connecting with the Supreme as a principle. So in this verse, they explain that ultimately all the yagyas are for Vishnu. So Krishna explains in chapter 5 that Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam, that I am the ultimate beneficiary of all the sacrifices. So whatever you do, you should do as an offering to me. Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Gyantva Mam Shantim Richati. And those who know this, they're always peaceful. Because whatever they are doing, their activities, they're only dedicated towards Krishna. They know this, they know the fact that whatever sacrifice I'm doing, whatever activities I'm doing is only going towards Krishna. And he's the ultimate beneficiary. So, this purport was quite interesting when I read this. Prabhupada mentions the phrase, satisfaction of Vishnu, 5 times in the purport. 5 times. So I found this to be the most eye-catchy, the attractive thing to speak about in the purport, because if Prabhupada is mentioning this verse 5 times, then that means that he is placing some importance on it. He wants this to be discussed. So tonight we'll discuss more on about how can we satisfy Vishnu. So then, how can we satisfy Vishnu? Any ideas, any answers? Serving the devotees, yes, serving the devotees. Yeah, you can use a mic. The mic's coming for the online viewers. We're just waiting for the mic.
Serving the devotees.
Yes, serving the devotees.
Chanting?
Chanting. Yes. Doing activities which please Krishna, which remind us of Krishna.
Following instructions of the spiritual master.
Following instructions of the spiritual master, yes. Definitely yes.
Doing everything as an offering of love to him.
Yes. So that's exactly what Prabhupada says in the purport, that in other words, the same purpose is served whether one performs prescribed yagyas or directly serves Lord Vishnu. Krishna consciousness is therefore performance of yagya as it is prescribed in this verse. So you either perform different yagyas or you perform devotional service in Krishna consciousness. That's exactly the same. And in our Bhakti Shastri, we were learning about this yoga ladder. We even discussed this today, that you go from animal life to karma khanda, then to nishkam karma yoga, and then to sakam karma yoga, and then jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, and then you get to the level of bhakti yoga. But if you're in the process of Krishna consciousness, you're living animal life, and then you meet a pure devotee of the Lord. And then through his association, you get to direct to sadhana bhakti, and then prema bhakti, bhava bhakti. So you practice bhakti yoga very quickly in Krishna consciousness, which is the ultimate goal of all the yogas anyway. So Krishna is explaining that you either go the long way or either you go the short way. And the short way is much more peaceful and much more enjoyable, and it's very easy. All these other yogas include like going to a forest, restricting the senses, which is very difficult in today's life to do for the modern man. But Krishna recommends a really short way for us to get to him through bhakti yoga, through surrender and association of pure devotees. And then Krishna says in chapter 6 that yogi namapi sarvesham mad katena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate mam same yukta tamomata. And of all the yogis, one who with great faith always abides in me, thinking of me within himself and renders transcendental loving service, is the most dear to me. One thing which definitely struck to me in this yoga ladder was, in the bhakti yoga section, was that you go from animal life and then you straight get the association of a pure devotee. And then how that association of a pure devotee just uplifts you very quickly to the stage of sadhana bhakti straight away. So then I was remembering the song of Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Ei mona durmati samsara bitare tab podiyachi numami tavane jajan kono mahajane. One of your pure devotee and your elevated devotees has come to bring me out of it. My mind has brought me into this world, but one of your pure devotees is going to save my life. Just the association of pure devotee is so important in our lives, and that's the very essential part of the bhakti yoga process. And Krishna consciousness itself is a yoga, so we don't need to separately endeavor for all these other things which other yogas tell us. So if you're practicing Krishna consciousness, it's a whole yoga, it's a complete yoga in itself, and it gives us the highest goal. So then, so how can we please Lord Vishnu? And I was just churning by myself, and then I came up with that we can please Lord Vishnu by purification of desires. We all have desires, because we are souls, we are Anandamaya Abhyasat. But our desires are what? Bhogeshwarya Prasaktanam. And because our desires are all about material sense enjoyment and just sense pleasures, we are not able to have the resolute determination for devotional service for the Lord, which is how we can please Vishnu. And because that's coming in the way, we can't practice devotional service. So there's this further progression of how we can purify desires. There's this 4 E's of progression. So the first is enjoyment. When you come into Krishna consciousness, you still at the material platform and you just want to enjoy things. You know, you're a new devotee and everyone's just like giving you so much attention, pleasure, like Prabhu Prasadam, Prabhu this, Prabhu come to this sangha, everyone wants to hang out with you. So you're just thinking it's all about enjoyment right now, And then it just becomes uninterrupted enjoyment. And a life centered on sensuality not only brings distress to oneself, but it's also disservice to others. Because you're just taking from all the devotees. You're not giving them back. But then this stops when there's education, when there's knowledge, when there's introspection about what we are doing. So then in this stage of education, we start thinking of questions like, is life just about eating, sleeping, mating, and defending? Is there a bigger meaning to life? We start contemplating because we start reading the scriptures. The scriptures make us think life. Prabhupada mentions this quote that disturbance is due to the want of an ultimate goal. And when one is certain that Krishna is the enjoyer, proprietor, and friend of everyone and everything, then one can, with a steady mind, bring about peace. So, it's not bad to have an ultimate goal. But that ultimate goal will bring you a lot of disturbance if your goal doesn't include Krishna. So as long as your goal has Krishna, there will be no disturbance. And that's what this stage of knowledge helps us to conceive and come to a better platform. And we just keep thinking that, we will only be happy if we keep consuming more and more. But that's not how the soul works. The nature of the soul is to give, is to serve. So then that comes to the next E, which is endure, sacrifice, part with, giving up something for a better purpose. After you have, there are plenty scholars in the world. They have so much to say on every topic. They have so much information. There is so much information in this world, but there is no transformation. Everyone is a speaker. Like everyone comes for advice to you. You just want to speak, But how much transformation is happening in you and on others who are listening or speaking? And that's what Bhakti Yoga practitioners should do. Translating education into action. Whatever we are learning, like we're reading so much, we're doing Bhakti Shastri, we're learning so much about life. But how much actually are we transforming to be the words of Srila Prabhupada? and to apply that in our lives and to be actually serious in our sadhanas. And when you start practicing this sacrifice, which is not really a sacrifice in terms of that you're losing something, you're actually gaining so much. When a person is climbing up, he has to give up a few things so that he can climb up. But to stay up, you have to constantly keep giving up as well. So you have to constantly keep performing this sacrifice. Sacrifice is ongoing. It's not that you get to that stage and then you stop the sacrifices. Sacrifices is an ongoing step. And then as we progress, the number of responsibilities we get, they increase in Krishna consciousness. Either it's a personal responsibility of your personal sadhana, or there's external responsibilities of the temple management or all these other things. So when responsibilities increase in Krishna consciousness, your desires to please yourself will naturally decrease. And then, one thing we need to keep as an anchor in this progress is our sadhana. Because our sadhana will always be in our hearts as an anchor to not let us be puffed up. Because so many responsibilities are coming to us in this stage, and it's really easy to get deviated by all these things. So the only anchor we have is our own personal sadhana and association of devotees. So we should never leave that. And then this brings to the last E, which is the enlightened experience, which is the purification, sanctity. In this stage, you naturally have the desire to serve the Supreme. It's not material. It's not forced by other people. Like in the previous stages, it was forced. Like, okay, I want to watch a video, like how Pritan Prabhu was explaining yesterday in his class that I want to watch something, so I'd watch Srila Prabhupada's memories and all these other things just to replace. But in this stage, the desire is natural that, oh no, I don't want to replace it, but I actually want to watch this. In this stage, you're changing the principle to serving others and living for devotees and for Krishna in this enlightened stage. And that's where we practice real happiness. We chant these prayers in Pujari, that Sthiti Seva Gate Riyata Smitis Chinta Sutirvacha Bhuyat Sarvatmana Vishnu Madhyam Tvai Cheshtitam. Let my normal condition be service. Let my movement be holy pilgrimage. Let my thought be remembrance of you. Let my words be glorification of you. O Vishnu, let my activities with my whole mind, body and soul be engaged in you. So in this stage, you're fully constantly engaged in serving the Lord, and your desires are just purely about devotional service. Actually, I haven't timed my class well. The another way of pleasing Krishna is mentioned by Prabhupada here is that this is the great art of doing work, and in the beginning this process requires very expert guidance. So one should therefore act very diligently under the expert guidance of a devotee of Lord Krishna or under the direct instruction of Lord Krishna. So this reminds me of the verse, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya, that you should approach a spiritual master and you should inquire from him humbly, render service unto him. Because they have seen the truth and they can give the truth to us. This is another bhajan by Bhaktivedanta Thakur. Krishna se tomara, Krishna dite paro, tomara shakati ache. Krishna is yours. You have the power to give Krishna to me. But what am I doing? Amito Kangala. Krishna Krishna boli. Dhaitava pache pache. I am useless. I am simply your servant. And I'm just running behind you saying Krishna Krishna. Just give me that Krishna. So that won't. Actually, I find like bhajans quite easy to pray in the form of, like you can't like go and, I think like some devotees do chant verses when they see deities, but like I feel like personally for me like singing bhajans is a bit more personal and it's really nice. So yeah, this bhajan is really nice as well. And then another way of pleasing Krishna is working for Krishna, dovetailing our activities in Krishna consciousness. One way I tried to do this personally was I really like singing, doing arts. So I tried to serve in Pujari and then do Kirtan for the Lord. So I'm still continuing my activities. I didn't stop doing work. I started just dovetailing those acts for Krishna and glorify Krishna with my acts. But we're talking about how can we please Krishna in so many ways, but what actually pleases Krishna the most? What does Krishna say that what pleases him the most? And Krishna explains this in chapter 18, text 68, that the person who spreads my glories is the most dear to me. Actually, I'm trying to find the verse. It's here. For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear to me. So Krishna is saying himself that the most dear person is the one who spreads knowledge about him, who glorifies him. So we can try to apply that in our lives, that whenever we are around devotees, whenever we are around non-devotees, wherever we are, we can just always glorify Krishna. Hare Krishna. Any questions, reflections?
In order to glorify Krishna, you have to be diplomatic also sometimes. Like, for non-devotees who cannot relate to Krishna, like Prabhupada was going in a village one time, and devotees asked him, why don't you say Hare Krishna to the villagers when they say good morning? Prabhupada says, better they say good morning to me, because otherwise they may feel I'm imposing on them. So in order for them to become favorable, I say good morning. So according to a personal level, you have to relate to them to bring them up to a high level.
Very nice point.
So yeah, so that's part of preaching also, right? We do according to personal level, bring them up. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, bro.
Thank you for the class. I just wanted to say that I took many points from this, and I like the verses that you used to establish that there's many reasons that we have why we need to please Krishna also, and it was inspiring the way you've presented this verse also. I'd like to say thank you.
Thank you, bro. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki